Well. You're listening to Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright then, I may say words on point, straightforward. No jibber jabber, everybody forward. Issues, facts and solution. Get it at Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright, what other thing is a revolution? Get it on point with Professor Buitrón. Gloves Off, no nonsense issues, politics, community. A better men for Laredo. Gloves Off, a revolutionary show with everything that you need to know. With Professor Buitrón. Watch ya!
Back at you in Gloves Off, and today I have candidate for Laredo City Council, District 7, Engineer Carlos Flores. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, sir. And Mr. Buitrón, I really appreciate that you're inviting me again and give me the opportunity to express myself and to speak of some of the important topics that are really relevant to our citizens, especially in District 7. But not just District 7, but the city in general. I know you have already interviewed many of the candidates that are running for District 7, and I can tell you that at least 30 to 50% of the voters are in favor, of helping the community. And not just Laredo, not just District 7, but Laredo in general. Right now we're going through a hard turmoil because of the pandemic and the economic distress that we have. And there are just too many things going on. And I know that our city has lost a lot of its, we are in a deficit right now with the city. And we're talking about a big deficit that will be coming up next year because today the bridges are not generating revenue. The import and export industry is in a really downfall. We have lost at least $150 billion in import and export activity that crosses our bridge. And there is no contingency plan for the city to actually tackle that problem. In fact, the biggest problem we have is that my constituents of District 7 and the normal people of Laredo, the citizens of Laredo, are not aware of what's really been happening with the monies that the taxpayers are actually paying every year. For decades, we've been controlled, and every year it gets worse. We've been controlled by the special interest. And I'm gonna tell you how terrible that is to our budget. We cannot balance our budget because the city of Laredo requires $300 million every year to be able to execute all the programs and just run the city. The city is a business. They have a financial statement report that they put on the city website. Unfortunately, you have to be an accountant to really understand it, or a financial analyst. Not the normal people don't know, and that's another problem, another issue. But what I have deduced that because of the special interest, and I'm gonna be frank about it because people need to know what's happening. Do not be fooled by those candidates or that particular candidate that tells you the special interest is important. No, they're not, and yes, they are. And take, for instance, there's three right now. The Motor Carriers Association, okay, and then we have the Laredo Firefighters and the Mexican Custom Brokers. All of those are supporting this particular and most famous candidate in District 7. That candidate has collected over $9,000 from the Laredo Firefighters Association. What is the Laredo Firefighters Association in politics? Well, they're involved with a union, and so is the police department. And I understand that they need the vehicles, they need the infrastructure, they need to get paid well, their training, all of that is important. But it has gotten to a point where they're taking 63% of the budget, and you're talking about $300 million, not once, but every single year, and they keep asking for more. How many ambulances can you buy? Look, that's equivalent to 189, not thousand, million, 189 million annually. This is not like once every 10 years, but annually. That's how much money they're taking away from our city budget. How can Laredo survive like that, especially during an economic turndown that we have right now? How are we going to be able to pay them and their union $189 million next year? It's going to come out of your taxes. And this is what's going to happen. They're not going to increase the tax rate. They are very clever, but they're going to increase the value of your property. And in turn, that would give us sufficient funding to be able to balance the budget. So they're not going to balance it. It's impossible. We just don't have the revenue. The import and export is in a very troubled situation. What Laredo really needs is jobs. And we need a new industry in Laredo. And there is an opportunity for that. There's a tremendous opportunity. But the people in our city council are too stubborn, or maybe they just do not know and do not understand. I've been working in the industry for 40 years. I'm just a regular person. You know, I'm not putting a campaign with a bunch of signs all over the city. You know, I don't care for any glory. I care for my children, which they're already older, they're professionals. And I care for my grandchildren. You know, who's going to pay that debt? If every year we're in a deficit, we were in a surplus last year. You know, even with the fact that we have to pay $300 million a year, $300 million a year for a city of Laredo, and what are we getting back? We're getting back peanuts. They're building little parks here and there. Just build one big park where everybody can enjoy, and we can attract, you know, the tourism from Mexico and even South America. Make it state of the art. You know, work with the land developers. Let's unify. Let's work. Let's give to Laredo. Let's not stop making promises. And they're nothing more than words and false promises. What happened, you know, 20 years ago? You know, they increased our tax by 0.0825.
Yeah, but you know, it's a continual thing. And I'm gonna kind of just go in here, and I'm gonna interject right now with a couple of things that you said. We're talking about special interest groups. Let's tackle that. Special interest groups, are they needed? Do they exist? Yes.
Yes.
People know what they do, how they act? Probably not.
They don't.
And
that's the problem.
Yep. And what I'm trying to say is, I've seen, you know, we have great first responders. Our first responders, above board, okay? They better be well trained. They are well trained. They care about you, me, and anybody that's happening out there.
I agree.
They'll give their 150%. Now, of everything else that comes in there, we also have to be above board with that. You know,
I agree.
If we're paying somebody $50,000, well, they better be doing $50,000 worth. You know,
Absolutely.
I'm an executive chef, so I'm gonna put it on the sides of food, okay? Because I do a lot of design and stuff for people that are trying to, and consult with people that are trying to open up restaurants and such. Now, if we're looking at this, I can spend a $4 burger, $5 burger, a water burger, or I can go spend a burger at a restaurant that's going to cost me $25, $30. Okay, I can sit down at work, after work, with my family and enjoy a meal and pay that type of burger and enjoy the service, okay, with some of the restaurants, like say Fuddruckers.
Yes.
Okay, or I can drive through McDonald's and pick up something on my way to work. I'm still eating, okay, but I'm not gonna go to a restaurant that gives me a $5 burger and charges me a 5-star restaurant price.
Yep.
With no service. It's redundant. So if we're paying people 50 grand, we better be getting 50 grand of service throughout every single person. Not we're paying them $50,000 as a startup fee, and you're getting $5,000, maybe $10,000 worth of an apprentice work, you know, part timer.
Right.
So we have to be adequate with what we're spending our time and our money with. Now, when we look at the city's always been involved with gee, I want to help that person over here, and everybody kind of focuses, and then you find out later on in time that era compadre de alguien, or padrino de alguien, or something happened. I understand that we have to help each other here in the community, but there's a difference between stepping over people, oppressing others to benefit others. That has to stop.
Look, this is what really bothers me for many years, you know. Our city could be in much better shape. We could have been prepared if we had an alternative economy that could boost and could stimulate the rest of the economies. A restaurant cannot function if you don't have a leading, industry like we have the import and export. That 250, 300, or 250 or something like that billion. We're talking about $1 billion across this right here. How much of that really stays in Laredo? And I question that. How much of that money really stays in Laredo? You know, the highest paying jobs are 60, maybe 70,000, and these are the high executives on those, on those facilities. You know, I know because I know people that work there. Some of my friends, but the rest of the people are almost minimum wage, and they're temporary workers or just people from Mexico that they have a permit to work in here, which there's nothing wrong with that. But that is the bulk majority. We need to bring a real industry. Bring in manufacturing, and do not be fooled. Manufacturing can come to Laredo. We just need the right person to bring it to Laredo. We need to build a contingency economic plan that could really happen. You know, not long ago I was at Randolph Air Force Base. I'm a mechanical engineer and I have my own business, right? And I was talking because I have friends in the armed forces, and I used to work at Randolph very young, and I see how companies would come and bid projects with the federal government and establish their own, portable, administration units, and will be able to hire high-tech people that will know how to maintain the aircraft and work on the high technology items. There are schools that we can contact and the city can partner, and also our educational districts. They could partner with them, and they can teach the younger generation that don't want to be engineers, doctors, or physicians, but they just want to work with your hands to be an A&P mechanic, an A&P technologist. We just need to bring that school and then bring the company, and we have both. On-the-job training, it takes 3 months. I was hired by Lear Siegler, which used to be a company for the T-38s and the T-37 at Randolph Air Force Base, and they trained me in 3 months. And when I started working with them, back then, I was making $12 an hour. Today, those technicians make $30, $40 an hour. That's what they make. Boeing can join venture with Laredo and put a small manufacturing facility where they can come on board and use some of the empty hangars that we have here. We just need the right people. I could spearhead because I know, and I worked in the industry for 12 years, and I know how it works. That's why I built my education, 2 associate degrees, 1 bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and a master's in business administration from A&M. And 10 years of business experience have made me extremely successful. I know how to bring it. Vote your conscience, people, please do it for your district, do it for the people. Do not be fooled by the special interests. Perhaps you're not aware of who they are, but I just mentioned a few. They're internal within the city. They should not be lobbying. They should not be involved with the candidates, you choose, not them. And this is what's been happening in Laredo. If anybody wins besides me, because I know there's a lot of people that are gonna vote for me, because I'm gonna do it from my heart. I'm 62 years old. I don't care for any glory. I care for the youth of Laredo, and I care for their future. And I care for the people of District 7 and the businesses of District 7. The businesses will not rise unless you have a strong economy, because that's the driving economy. People cannot spend any money if they don't have a good job. Yeah.
Ready? Five. You said some great points, and the best one that you said was bringing companies that can make on in-house training. We need that.
You definitely.
We need that. We have that here. The restaurant trades do that. The restaurants have great opportunity to train, apprentice, and do chefs. Now we're coming up with more chefs coming out, people that are coming in internal within Laredo. But people have never focused on that. Now the wait staff, I don't know how come we don't have a wait staff course, 3 months, 6 months for them to teach you how to be a waiter properly.
Exactly.
Because if you go to other cities, a waiter makes a lot of money if he does it properly. We have to start teaching that. How come we don't teach those courses? Another one to look at.
Waiters need to teach on the basics, manners. They come and take your plate and you're still not even done. No hard feelings. I'm kidding.
No, you're correct. You know, we need to do that. We need to go through all the different trades that exist here. We have to actually have a vision. But then people say it, and then so and so brings it up, and then all of a sudden they have a project, and yes, they're going to do something, but so and so's little selective special interest group is the one that brought it up, and now they're the ones that are doing it. Understand? That's the way Laredo is. I mean, unfortunately, we live that. And unfortunately, right now, in this election, this point in time, people better learn who they're voting in and learn which way, what direction do you want Laredo to go. Because Laredo, they use the word progress. Oh, we're progressive. We want progressively to grow. Well, you can actually progressively go up and you can progressively go down.
Look, the reason we're progressing is with our infrastructure, the Texas Department of Transportation, they collect a lot of money from the transportation industry. That's where they collect their funds. And that's why you have good roads, and the good roads are built by the Texas Department of Transportation. In my younger years, I worked as a design engineer with the Texas Department of Transportation. I know exactly what's going on. And many of the things that one of the candidates spoke about, building the infrastructure, the city has already come up with a plan. Let's not plagiarize. The city has a plan, and they're working with tech staff to fix all of the problems that we have on Loop 20, to fix the problems that we have on Mines Road, to fix the problems in Columbia Bridge and the World Trade. They've already been working there. The thing is that with TechStyle, it takes 20 years. Well, they've been working that for a long, long time. And you can go to the website and you find out what's happening. So, give credit to where it's due. Don't lie to people. That's what I hate the most, Don't lie to people. The special interest is the one that I have the biggest concern about because, again, they're taking $189 million every year. Look, Laredo Community College, we had a man there that was very great. I'm also Flores. And Flores used to be the chief financial officer, and he saved $20 million over a 10 or 15-year course. And people used to complain about him, but he was doing the right thing. When the time came to build the facility master plan, and that's what you have right now, the college bore $110 million. If it wasn't for those years that he had to, tighten up the budget, the college would have never been in the situation that it is right now, which is great. Spent $110 million, but it took 20 years to get them. The special interest is taking not $110 million, $189 million every year. We're only left with, 38% of the budget? What are you going to do with 38%? No wonder we're in trouble. And right now, 50% of the budget is gone. We're not going to collect that money. Next year, we're going to be in a deficit, and we're going to have to pay that union. And many of the other internal, special interests that exist within the city, we need to stop that. That needs to stop. We need to put a cap on that. And I understand, yes, the firefighters need to be trained. They need the best equipment, but they don't need it every year. Come on, give me a break. If there's going to be a big fire, when have you ever had a chemical fire on the railroad tracks? Never. It's never happened. That it would happen? Probably. But they're already over 10 years at 100 and something million. By now that you have a big budget. Either they have a big budget surplus, or they have a big surplus in their pockets, including the union. So I question those 199 millions a year that we are, as citizens and taxpayers, are giving to them. We can use that money somewhere else now. They don't need it anymore. So whatever the city manager is doing, they need to look back and look at the contract and begin establishing some, different policies. And, so that it needs to stop, because next year, we're not gonna have the money, because we don't have the industry. If we were to have a manufacturing industry in Laredo, if we were to have an aerospace technology industry in Laredo, or an automotive industry, and they say, we cannot bring in the automotive industry because we don't have the people trained. Well, then we need to train the people. We need to go back to the trades from the high schools, not in elementary, but in junior high and in high school and at the college level, and with the private sector, with those institutions and schools that train those people to be successful as blue-collar workers, because many of them want to be that. But the industry in Laredo is not going to grow if we don't act soon. We need to act. This is a very dangerous time. If we allow for those politicians to watch our brain, they did it in the past and they raised our tax, and that tax is never going to go away. They're going to do it again.
Right now, tomorrow's early vote. Early vote begins. It's going to be for 3 weeks. People have no excuse for them to say I didn't go out to vote. You have no excuse whatsoever. If you're afraid of the pandemic, do not wait for the last day. Go right now. It's a lot easier. They do curbside. The Webb County Elections Administrative Office, they're doing a great job. Mr. Tejas, you're doing a phenomenal job. Your curbside voting, it's an excellent idea of what you've done. People need to take advantage of that now. You have to call the candidates, call them, make sure, know them, because guess what? You might vote for somebody else, but somebody else might vote for this person and can end up being in there. And if they're not amicable now, do you think they're going to be amicable once you elect them in? And this is what I do tell people. If you have a candidate that tells you, call my campaign manager, well, maybe we should be electing the campaign manager, because the candidate is already telling you right now that
they don't even know their phone number.
They don't even know, not their phone number. They're not even there. Call somebody else when they get elected. Here's my secretary. They're never going to be there. So
it reminds me of my good fella Joe Biden that forgets everything. I mean, let's be careful. I like him very much, but man, somebody needs to work with him. And if we're going to elect somebody that doesn't know their phone number and forgets a lot of things, you better watch it. You better watch it. You better think twice. I'm a Flores and I'm a proud Flores, but I'm not here to lobby. I'm here to inform you of what's going to happen. If I don't win, that's no problem. I'm going to continue to fight, and this is not going to be the end of the real Flores.
Well, we'll take it from there. We're running out of time. I want to thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for standing up. If somebody wants to reach you for your campaign and get more information, where can they contact you?
Well, I guess the best way to contact me is through my cell phone, 956-645-5140.
All right, folks. Until next time. Peace.
Thank you. God bless you.
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.
Hi Laredo, this is Carlos Flores. I'm running for Laredo College Board of Trustees Place 8. You can follow us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at CG Pettis RLC. I look forward to gaining your support this campaign season and earning your vote November 3rd. Thank you.
Hello, how are you? My name is Celestino Marina. I'm running for City Council, District 5, and I would like your support. Together, we will win. Thank you.
Laredo College needs a leader, an educator with a vision to move forward for a positive change. This is why, as your candidate, I want accessible education, and most importantly, I want to listen to your concerns as a stakeholder, students, faculty, staff, and taxpayers. It's time for education over politics.
Vote Justin Hunts-Nusher Casiano for Laredo College Board, Place 7.
Hi, I'm Amber Avis Hinojosa, ready to change the direction of District 8. As a resident and business owner in the heart of the community, I know the pressing issues at hand. It's time to realize the potential in this district. Join me in the fight to bring change.
Vote Amber Avis Hinojosa for City Council District 8. The future of our district is in our hands.